What's up YouTube, AUTOCON360 here back again with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Dragon Ball Z S.H.Figuarts Mr. Satan or Hercule, whichever you prefer. Now the champ here is an awesome figure, not without his limitations, but still a really cool figure nonetheless. He does come with a lot of really cool accessories that really helps him express who he is as a character in the anime. So let's take a closer look at his packaging, and then we'll take a closer look at all the stuff he comes with, because he comes with quite a lot. And here we have the Champ's packaging, looking really nice here. Nice big thick box for him too. Nice window box here, showing off everything. Well, showing off a picture here. You got your Toei logo, your Tamashii Nation stamp of approval, Dragon Ball Z, Bandai, Mr. Satan, S.H.Figuarts. More pictures on the side, more pictures on the back. Looking cool. Top, not much. Bottom, not much. On the side, Mr. Satan. So let's go ahead and we will crack this open. See what we got inside. And then, of course, first as always, we're going to take a look at his instructions. So, shows you how to swap out the faces, warns you of where things may rub together. And it shows you all his hands, shows you the posability on the dog, or B, whichever you prefer. Shows you how to spot the belts, how to spot the capes, and yeah. And of course you have your table of contents, if that interests you. And then here we have all of his accessories. We have 4 interchangeable faces, 3 sets of hands, 2 extra hands, a plug for his back, his cloak, and 3 belts, and of course B. So let's take a closer look at that cloak first. And here we have his cloak. It's kind of a duller white, but still very nice. Got a little bit of a print there. Nice shading at the bottom. Looks pretty good. And that's about all the paint that we get on this. So let's set this off to the side, and we'll show you how to install this in just a moment. And as far as the belts go, here we have the just regular tied belt. Kind of in a swooshing position. When it's in a neutral position, it kind of swooshes off to the side, which is fine. This is posable, so you can just move that if you want to. And of course, we'll show you how to put all these on in just a minute. And then here we have one of his championship belts that he comes with. Again, really nice gold on it. That looks really good. And then here we have the next one, which I like the studs going around it. It says champion on it. It looks wonderful. And then here's the spacer piece for his back, which we'll show off in a little bit more detail in just a minute. And then as far as faces go, we have a neutral face, which really nice detail, like the blue eyes, like the stubble on the chin. Nice Fu Manchu. Looks really good. We have a oh crap face, which I really like this one. Nice and expressive. I like how his eyes bulge out. Very Akira Toriyama style. Still got those nice blue eyes though. We got kind of a laughy, sassy face. Looks really good. Very on point for Mr. Satan. And then we have a very oh yeah face, which I love. This is the one that I usually keep on him when he's on my shelf. So yeah, very good. And then as far as hands go, we do have 2 fists. I like the hairlines on them. Looks really good. 2 peace sign hands, which the hairlines do continue on all the hands. But yeah, good for some signature Mr. Satan poses. 2 kind of splayed out martial artsy hands for doing his signature stance. Very cool. Then we have an extra left hand that's just pointing. And then we have an extra thumbs up right hand. And then finally here we have B, or just the dog. B was the name I found on the Dragon Ball Z fan wikia. I thought his name was Coco. I could have sworn I remember at some point or another him being called Coco. But if it's B, that works too. Either way, he looks adorable. I really like him. Nice little shading there in the lines for his legs. And his tongue sticking out, and he's looking all cute. Yeah, really cool. I have him displayed right at Mr. Satan's feet on my shelf. So, definitely a cool piece. And installing the belts on him is very simple. You just simply pull him apart. You see the peg right there, and then the slots. Just got to line that up, and it goes right in. And for his belt, Got that right here. You just simply put it around this little lip piece. You just put it around the little lip here. And whoop. Gotta make sure it doesn't slip. Come on, stop slipping. And just slide it right back on. And seamless. And then to install his cape, all you gotta do is just pull off the neck, just a ball joint, and put that over. And you want to make sure that this tab goes into the port on his back, like so. It just goes right in. You can actually see the white in the back right there, so it definitely helps you make sure that you've got it lined up. And then you just simply put the head back on. There we go. Ball joint's just a little bit tight on mine, but for the purpose of this video, I am going to take off the cape. Just makes life a little bit easier to do so. So, and just remove it, and you can actually see, like I said, you can see in there and see the tab, and it just slides right out. So we're going to put the spacer piece in there, which you just want to line up the shape of the port. There's a corner cut there. You want to make sure that the side with the corner cut goes up there, and it just simply tabs right in. And removing the tab to put the cape back in, if you would like, is very simple. You just push the bottom of the tab and it will flip over and let you pull it right out. So there you go. And then this is the point in the video where I say what I say with all these Dragon Ball Z S.H.Figuarts videos, which is the wrists are your usual Figuarts fare. If you have S.H.Figuarts figures, it's nothing new, just simple ball joint. And it doesn't want to cooperate. Come on. Come on. There we go. And then the faces on this guy are actually a little bit different than how they normally are. Normally it's just ports in the head. You just plug the face in. This one actually you slide up. It's got all the tabs on the top. All the slots are in the top of his head. So you just simply slide it up. There you go. And there we have the champ all put together. Looking really good. Like I said, I love the stubble on his face. I like the chest hair and the hair on his arms. It helps to make him feel like he's from the show. And it does look really good. I like the nice details in the top part of his gi. Looks really good. Now there is a bit of color difference, or at least I guess it would be the sheen of the plastic, because this bottom piece here is a softer material for the articulation. And of course, this is a stiffer plastic, so it shines a bit more. That's really the only issue I have with the figure. And just right here, where it is not molded the same color as the top half of his torso. So it's kind of got the same issue that Gotenks had, where it just needed a second coat to make it stand out a bit better and match the top part a bit better. But other than that, though, still looking pretty good, and got a little bit of a wash going for the pants to bring out those wrinkles. Looking pretty good. Nice boots. I think the lower part of the shins are the identical sculpt, or at least the knots are the same sculpt, because they are separate pieces. They are softer material, so you don't have to worry about breaking those. But the boots look really good. Going on the back, yeah, you can see the port for the cape. Whatever, not that big of a deal. And nice details in the hair here. I like all the little curls that kind of stick up. Very accurate to the anime and the manga depiction. But yeah, really, really good. And going over articulation for this guy, we do have your typical S.H.Figuarts setup for a head, which is the hinge and swivel, much like the wrist, so you can change the axis of pivot on that head if you so choose. Get a little bit more tilt out of that if you would like. And with the face on, he will look, just using the hinge, he will look up that far and down that far, so pretty good. With the neck in tandem with it, though, you get a little bit more up, get a little bit more down, and of course that neck's on a ball joint like you saw earlier. You get a nice bit of tilt with it, even with the hinge facing forward and back. You do get a nice bit of tilt there. You do have a butterfly joint, which mine's a little stiff. Get you that far forward. And then, of course, your shoulders are on a ball joint, so you do get a little bit of shrug there. They will go outward that far. pretty good. We'll do a full 360 bicep swivel. It is a just a straight bicep cut, so that's pretty good. Now the double jointed elbows, I'll show it off on the right side. Double jointed elbows are a little limited. If you bend the top joint first, you will get a little bit more range, but that's all you're going to get. It is a little disappointing to see the champ here with such limited elbows, but whatever, it works. I get why, because there's so much sculpt here, and he is kind of a big dude. But this is what kind of bothers me about it, is just the really weak bottom joint here. I think if they'd have given us a little bit more room there, or at least just done a, I would have dealt with the gap. The gap wouldn't have bothered me that much, but I do like the sculpted wrinkles in the hinges for that elbow, so definitely looks good, but in execution, I think that's what's hindering this double jointed elbow. Your wrist are your usual Figuarts wrist, so you can change the axis of pivot on the wrist, and they are on a ball joint, and I have walked this hinge up. Come on. Alright, there we go. There we go, got it. Your upper torso is on a ball joint, so you do get a little bit of pivot out of it. It does hinge up to give you more crunch forward, which is good. Without it hinged up, you get about that far. With it pulled up, you get a little bit deeper. And of course, your waist is also on a ball joint at the bottom of that setup for the belt replacement. So you do get, with it all together, you do get a bit more crunch, which is definitely good, and definitely a good amount back. Definitely a good amount back. It is going to get a little gappy on you, though, so do look out for that. I definitely don't recommend that you go too crazy with it, and definitely hide joints best you can with your action figure photography if you want to do so. But of course, that waist being on a ball joint does also give you a good amount of pivot there, so whatever you can't get out of that ab, you can definitely get out of that waist. Ooh, wasn't quite pulled up all the way. Or wasn't pushed down all the way. Your hips will, looks like it's just your usual Figuarts setup at this point for the Figuarts line, so we'll kick forward just a little bit, and of course your belt loop also is on a hinge, or on a swivel. Sorry, I'm a little sick, so I'm a little out of it. Well, I'm getting over being sick. I'm fighting a cold and I'm winning. That's how I've been describing it. But a little limited here in the hips, just due to the skirt piece, but it will kick forward that far, back that far, we'll go out, come on, just a little bit. Yeah, I tried to push it, pushed it back down. You do have a thigh swivel, double jointed knees, which good range. Again, got nice molding on the knee joint itself, which is good. You do also have your ankles on a double barbell, so nothing new here for Figuarts ankles. I like it. Some people don't like this setup. Looking at you, Anthony's Customs, but I don't really mind it. If as long as you know how to work the articulation, know how to get that tilt that you need, it's not a problem at all. I think people really kind of complain too much about it. Looking at you again, Anthony's Customs. But yeah, we'll go up just a little bit. We'll go down a little bit more, and you do have a good amount of tilts up there. Don't really need much more than that because you can't get the hips out farther than that. So, and of course, you do have a toe joint. And now for comparison, here he is with Gotenks, which they scale pretty good together. I think Gotenks should probably be just a little bit shorter, but this still looks pretty good. Here he is with that crazy cat creature, as he called him in Battle of Gods, Lord Beerus. Here he is with the Sand Raised on Earth Goku, which they scale pretty good together. I do like how they look. Definitely works for me. And then finally, here he is with the Marvel Legends Juggernaut Build-A-Figure Wave Deadpool and the Mafex Deadpool. And there we go. There we have the S.H.Figuarts Mr. Satan. A very cool figure. I do really enjoy having this guy in my collection. He's just full of expression, even with his limitations and his articulation. It doesn't bother me too much. He can hit his signature poses, and that's all I need him to do. And just to look really cool on my shelf. Now, he'll probably look even better when I pick up the S.H.Figuarts Majin Buu. But I don't have him yet. But when I do, I'm sure that will be soon. So when I do have him, they'll look great together, and they can do whatever they want on my shelf. Now this guy is still in stock on BigBadToyStore, so we'll link them in the description below. I picked this guy up from Barnes & Nobles, so I will also link them in the description below if they have some still in stock. If they don't, you may just want to try going to your local Barnes & Noble store, see if they have any in stock in store. So until next time, I have been AUTOCON360. Please subscribe, like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter at AUTOCON360. You can also follow me on Instagram at AUTOCON360. I will put a link to all three in the description below. And this has been the Dragon Ball Z S.H.Figuarts Mr. Satan. And I am AUTOCON360, and I'm saying, laters.